So I got a request to do an EMS story time, and I'm gonna do it really quick because I don't have to leave for the hospital for like another 10-15 minutes. So let's go. It's spooky season and I have a spooky story. So excuse my voice, I'm sick, I've been traveling, it happens, whatever. I work in healthcare. So when I was about 3 years into my EMS career, I was working private EMS, and I was in a sketchier neighborhood of my city. I mean, to be fair, the city that I lived in at the time was completely sketchy just in general. So my partner and I were stationed behind a police station because there was literally nowhere else to sit while we were waiting for calls that was safe. And being a 5'2" female and my partner being a 5'3" female, we were not the people that wanted to fight. So we were stationed behind a police station, and the call goes out about 3:15 in the morning for an elderly psych, of course. So we roll off. It wasn't a code 3 or anything. So we just kind of take our sweet time getting there. And as we get there, we notice that the street that we are pulling up to is a one-way going this way, and we have to go down the street, right? Well, as we're going down the street to turn back around, we're noticing we're literally going towards the sketchy ass train tracks, and there's no lights. There are no lights, okay? It was 3 o'clock in the morning and there were no street lights on. So we're driving, we have to drive back around. We drive back around, we drive and we park in front of the house, okay? Here's the house facing this way, here's our rig. We look over, we see the lights in the front bay window, and we're like, okay, So my partner gets out, I get out, we grab the bag, we walk up to the door, and my partner knocks. She goes, knock, 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 EMS, dead silence. We're like, oh, okay. It's kind of weird, but whatever. And then we wait, and then we knock again, knock, 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 EMS, nothing. And then, I kid you not, I put this on my whole entire career, my whole tenured career, okay? Her and I, at the exact same moment, get this chill, this terrifying feeling. We're like, what is that? I have this pain that shoots straight through my head, straight here. She gets goosebumps up and down, and she's we look at each other and we're like, let's go back to the truck. So we both go back to the truck, and I called dispatch and I'm like, hey, no one's answering. What do you want us to do? Obviously they're stay there, you can't just leave. And I was like, cool, that's fine, we'll stay there, but we need PD. They were like, okay, we'll call PD and let you know. So they call PD, they call us right back, they're like, no PD available. Keep in mind, we are 2 females in one of the sketchiest neighborhoods in our whole entire city at 3 a.m. to a fucking psych call, okay? So we're like, great. And then we're sitting there talking back and forth, do you want to go back up? Do we want to just wait here for a moment and then, go back up? And as we were about to get out of the car or the truck, literally we're about to get out of the truck, we hear this blood curdling scream. And it's not you guys, if you work in EMS, you already know what a blood curdling scream sounds like. It was blood curdling. And in the window there was a light on, right? And so you had the lights, but the blinds were drawn, and all you could see were silhouettes. You see a silhouette go up to the window like this, clawing at the window, and out of nowhere, all of a sudden this fist comes, punches the silhouette in the face, and the silhouette drops, okay? And this is the part of the movie where I would have died, all right? And I truly mean that, because my partner screams, I scream, and you know what I do? Pop the bitch into neutral and rev it, because of course. And so I'm sitting there revving the ambulance before I realize, oh wait, bitch, you need to actually put that shit in drive. So then I put it in drive, and we whip around the corner. So we whip around so we can see the house, but the house can't see us, because we're like, all right, well, we can't actually leave the scene, but we're not going to sit in front of the scene because we just witnessed an assault and we don't have anything to protect ourselves. So now we're calling dispatch back being like, hey, we absolutely need PD. And they're like, okay, we'll call them again. So they call them again. They call us. They're like, no PD available. We're like, get it through your heads. We need PD because some shit's going down and we can't do anything about it, but we also can't leave the scene because then we're abandoning the patient. And they're like, okay, we'll see what we can do. So as we're sitting there waiting for like dispatch to call us back, then we're like talking back and forth like, well, that was like completely like crazy, like that's probably like the wildest thing I've seen so far. You know, I've been on for like 3 years, she's been on for like 4, like this is like, and we're in private EMS, so like we mainly do transports. Like nighttime we got like what we called city dumps, where the city would like basically dump calls, 911 calls onto us, but like generally we didn't get city dumps. So we were like, this is the wildest shit that we've seen. And we're sitting there just talking, and I have my window cracked, like just a little bit because it's a little bit hot. And like all of a sudden, some dude comes like running out of the bushes, literally on the side of this house, runs out of the bushes, and he's like, hey, hey. And I scream again. Because of course, so I scream again and then pop the truck into neutral again and rev it because I was like afraid. And he's like, no, it's cool. And so I put it back into park, and I'm like looking over, and I don't open my window anymore. He like walks over the truck. He's like, you're gonna have to go in there because he's not gonna let her out. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you're gonna have to go in there and get her because he's not gonna let her out. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay in the truck and wait for PD because I'm also probably not going to get let out. And he's like, okay, that's on you guys. And I was like, yeah, that's right. It's on me that I want to live. So we call dispatch again, and my favorite dispatcher picks up this time, and I'm like, hey, there's some shit going down. We absolutely fucking need PD. Get them here. And she's like, okay. And so like, you know, fast forward like 15 minutes, PD just rolls up, like no lights, no sirens, nothing, just rolls up. He parks his car, he walks over to the rig, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, we explain the whole story, and he's like, wait, what's the address? And we like tell him the address, and he's like, there's no old lady that lives there. I'm like, what do you mean there's no old lady that lives there? He's like, there's no old lady that lives there. And I was like, well, we just heard a lady scream and some lady got punched in the face. And he's like, well, the person that's registered at this address, that we know is registered at this address, is literally a fucking wanted murderer that they have not been able to catch. And you know what he's wanted for? Fucking murdering females. It is literally on their police log that no female police officer is allowed to show up on scene because he's aggressive towards females. And my private ass company sent 2 small ass females with no personal protection to that dude's house. And the cop looks us dead in the eyes, dead in the fucking eyes, and goes, I hope you know that if you would have went in there, you never would have came out alive. Bitch, what? What did you just say to me? Yup, you heard that. I probably, and my partner probably would have never came out alive if we would have been in there and actually got, like, he opened the door because we were females and he fucking hated females. So yeah, there's the story time. Welcome to spooky season. I hope this was entertaining. Have a good day. Bye.